BBQ Central.
Happy to have you aboard here for the really big barbecue show.
Boing. We cook because we have to, and we grill because we want to.
Hit me!
Fine, how's it going?
You have a great show. I'm a big fan.
Boing.
So what seems to be the problem here? This man looks like he's dead, and he's in the crackle. Charbono! It's all about the Charbono, dude!
Succulent fish. What?
He ate 54 wieners.
Now listen, Lavernius, shut your face.
I'm shaking like a dog shit peach seeds.
We have top men working on it right now. Top men.
And just like that, we're in the second hour. Welcome aboard. You have found the Barbecue Central Show. We talk about barbecue and grilling stuff right here on this show. And we do it from Cleveland, Ohio. If you missed the first hour, don't worry about it. We're also recording at the very same time. The show gets put up on podcast. First hour's on Wednesdays, second hour on Thursdays. So if you can't make the live show Tuesdays from 9 to 11, I do record for podcasts so you can consume it at your leisure. Thanks again to Sam, the cooking guy, for joining me last two segments in the first hour. As I had mentioned on the way out, as we wrapped it up on the first time, Big Moe Cason will be joining me in about 13 minutes from now. Don't forget, you can follow me socially at BBQ Central Show on Instagram and Twitter, /BBQ Central Show on Facebook, which is where some of you are probably watching this very video feed. If you want to take part in a chat room that is involved, engaged, sometimes profane, mostly on point, and occasionally will just spin the show off and start their own show amongst their own dialogue. You want to go over to the YouTube Live portion. So hit my main website, and then I believe it's the middle block that says YouTube Live. Click that, and then away you go. And you can interact with all of the barbecue luminaries over there. Sylvie Curry is in there. Doug Scheiding. Sean 81073 can be seen. Yins Love Barbecue, just to name a few. Coming up this Friday on the best moments of the Barbecue Central show in 10 minutes or less. Barbecue Hunk is in the chat room, too. How dare I? He is always on Hunk Patrol, as we know. The best moments of the Barbecue Central show in 10 minutes or less this Friday. Episode 79, so we are inching closer and closer to episode 100. We journey back to June 2013. And in the first portion of the show, I had a conversation with Derek Riches. Derek used to be on the show a lot. You know, through the annals of the show, you go back through, Derek Riches was on the show a lot. He was also on the show a lot when Meathead was, Meathead has continued to do the show through the years, but Derek had stepped away for a number of years. There was some challenging of whose website was bigger and badder and better, and I was stuck in the middle going, hey, well, how come I can't have Meathead and Derek? But as things progress, Derek kind of stopped doing the show. We brought him back once. Was it a year or two ago? Maybe it wasn't that late. We talked about something that was pretty topical at the moment, although I can't recall just right off the top of my head. But in this particular instance, in June 2013, we talked a lot about lighter fluid. If I'm not mistaken, we also talked about the green lighter fluid options that were coming out. So if you like lighter fluid talk, and who doesn't, Derek Riches is in the lead segment in the best moments of the Barbecue Central show in 10 minutes or less coming up this Friday. And then in the second segment, also in 2013, man, I can't believe it was 6 years ago now, Dr. Akil Houston, who's the Associate Professor of Cultural and Media Studies in the African American Studies Department at my alma mater, Ohio University. Not Ohio. OU, Ohio University. Not Ohio State, Ohio University. Stopped by, and we talked about the N-word, if you can believe it. Because if you recall, the summer of 2013 was the huge scandal of Paula Deen and her less than savory remarks. The downfall, subsequent recovery to some degree, I guess. Is she even on television anymore? For me, that 6 years ago, that was pretty much it. But Dr. Akil Houston came on, and we talked about the genesis of the N-word, where it came from, original meanings, today, 2013 meanings, who's allowed and who's not, and should it be banned. I think I offered up my idea on how we could actually rid the country of racism, and it was a little too extreme for him. But I'm telling you, my plan is really the only one that will work. Otherwise, there's always going to be some bad seeds that are going to want to continue the hate. They'll teach their kids, and they teach their kids, and the cycle continues. My cycle eliminates all that, by the way. But it's very drastic, and a lot of people, very young, are going to die. Oh, by the way, all the old people are going to die. So we might have to take one for the team. But if it comes down to that, I'm more than happy to lay it out again. But there was a very interesting conversation. I'm always happy to put on anybody from Ohio University, Athens, Ohio native. Well, not native, but Athens, Ohio located school. And Dr. Akil Houston joined me for that segment. So check it out. I think you're going to like it. Make sure that you are subscribed to the podcast unless you're just an avid visitor to my website. That does house all of the archives of the show. So if you're not subscribed on podcast, make sure that you do that. You can also subscribe to the podcast on email, believe it or not, but I believe, according to Lance Owen, it really dings your email quite a bit. I don't know if it's trying to catch you up to a certain degree. However, you might want to steer clear and just go to your podcast app, whatever your native app is on your phone, and subscribe that way. I don't know if anybody saw this. I want to try and stick it up in a... is this... Oh. This is not the story I was looking for. Hold on. Go here. Is this the right one? Well. We are having a time of it. Let's see. Wheels of Steel. Yes. This loads Bobby Flay. Yeah, there it is again. Okay. Well, did anybody else see... leave me alone with the ad block. Did anybody else see the Wheels of Steel so the name of the title was Flipping Burgers and Steaks While Cutting It Up on the Wheels of Steel. By the way, that's a turntable for the lames out there. This was in some way supported by Myron Mixon. He was part of it. And it was, now I don't even remember the name of the company that was, maybe it was McCormick's that had made this grill. So it was a fully blown and operational grill, but it also had turntables to the left and the right, the wheels of steel, as it were. And as you flipped and flopped, it would feel the meat hitting the grates, or maybe there was some kind of a sensor, and it would give you like the kind of a thing. Now, they're not in full production. There was no price tag put on it. I would really love to show you the pictures, but I can't. That's fine. Also, we'll be talking to Moe Cason in a couple minutes about this in the upcoming 2 segments. But Bobby Flay brings 2 new series to Food Network. Culinary icon and acclaimed Food Network host Bobby Flay heats things up this summer with the premiere of 2 new series. One, Barbecue Brawl, Flay v. Symon. Bobby goes head-to-head against fellow Iron Chef Michael Symon in the 4-episode stunt as Bobby and Michael coach 8 of the country's most respected barbecue challengers for bragging rights. In the Flay list, Bobby In the Flay list, Bobby visits the the Flay list. Okay, this is the other show. Bobby visits the culinary spots. He has free. Who cares about that? Bobby Flay is a leading authority when it comes to grilling, a fierce competitor, so it's only fitting that Bobby treats viewers to the barbecue competition against Iron Chef and bestie Michael Symon for the ultimate bragging rights. And that one starts at the end of July. Am I right on that? Thursday, August 22nd. Yeah, who cares about that one? Oh, here we go. Okay, so Thursday, August 1st, Barbecue Brawl, Flay versus Symon. That's Thursday, August 1st at 9 p.m. Eastern. Over 4 one-hour episodes, Bobby and Michael Menner, 8 pitmasters at the famed Star Hill Ranch in Austin, Texas. So if you've been itching for barbecue television to come back on in some form or fashion, because there are a lot of barbecue pitmaster reruns that I'm guessing are still doing very well. If they weren't doing well, I wouldn't imagine that they would be showing them. Newsflash, if you're going to be in Cleveland this coming weekend for the baseball all-star game, Chris Lilly is in this weekend. How about that? Star Hill Ranch, not fictional. Famed. When people say famed, that means it's not lying. Moe Cason coming up out of the break. I'll talk to you quickly about Green Mountain Grills. I believe Moe Cason has actually used Green Mountain Grills in the past. You have 3 different sizes to choose from, 2 different model or product lines. You have the Prime line, a Jim Bowie, a Daniel Boone, and a Davy Crockett. Well, Davy Crockett's all on its own, but you have a Jim Bowie and a Davy. You have a Jim Bowie and a Daniel Boone Prime. And then you have the regular line, which is also Jim Bowie and Daniel Boone. The Prime line gives you the 2 look-in windows, one in the main chamber, the main cooking chamber. You also have one in the pellet hopper. You have 2 internal meat probes if you want to use them on the Prime line. More robust chassis. You got the 12-volt power technology on the traditional line. No look-in windows, but still same type of capacity. Both of these lines accommodate the pizza cooker as well. You can also buy pellets, rubs, sauces, and other accessories like that pizza oven that I just mentioned right from greenmountaingrills.com. That's greenmountaingrills.com. And you can check them out at your local Green Mountain Grill dealer. They'll teach you everything you need to know so you are ready to rock and roll when you get it home. greenmountaingrills.com. That's greenmountaingrills.com. And we are back with Moe Cason right after this. Stick around. We'll be right back.
The only show giving you a monthly visit from a doctor of barbecue. A man actually named Meathead. The author of a barbecue Bible. Bloggers, reviewers, competitors, and manufacturers by the dozens. It's the Barbecue Central Show. Once again, here's your host, Greg Rempe.
This portion of the show being brought to you by Smithfield. Are you ready to find out where you rank against all competitive barbecue teams across the country? You visit SmokingWithSmithfield.com to check out your rank on the Smoking with Smithfield National Barbecue Championship leaderboard. Don't forget, you have to be signed up for that in order to take place or potentially take place in the national finals in November. Registration is free, so sign up today. Same website, SmokingWithSmithfield.com. All right, my first guest, or only guest in the second hour, most recognizable faces in barbecue today. You've seen him on Pitmasters, Smoke, The Steve Harvey Show, the Barbecue Guru web commercials with my man Bob Trudnak. If you compete, you see him on the competition trail as well. So let's go ahead and race to the Fogo Charcoal Hotline and welcome back Big Moe Cason to the show. Mo, how are you, buddy?
What's up, man? How you doing?
I am absolutely fabulous, Mo. Where are we finding you today? Are you back at the homestead, or are you still traveling about?
I'm back at the homestead. I'm back in the 515.
Yeah, how's it treating you?
It's great. It's great, man. Looking forward to July 4th. I'm going to go out to the lake tomorrow with the family, chill out, and then pick up some fireworks, and then go down to the Capitol. And they put on a big fireworks display, and then we have a block party on all the neighbors in the neighborhood. We block out, get a permit, get the city block the street off, and then we have a huge neighborhood July 4th party. So we look forward. Been doing that for the last 5-6 years. I cook barbecue. There's a whole bunch of other people pitch in. It's like a big potluck, and there's other people that bring Q and desserts and sides. It's just a great time. Kids, we got a big bouncy house, and all the kids running around, frolicking around. So it's just a great time, man. And just meeting with your neighbors and just having a good time, man.
I have to imagine, Mo, that you are that guy when it comes to the grilled and barbecue stuff. You'd mentioned that some other people might bring some stuff, but I mean, that's got to be pretty intimidating.
Oh, man, I'm the easiest Sunday morning, man. Matter of fact, the person that puts on the at their house, I mean, he's a great barbecuer too, man, and and he's just as proud of his brisket as I am. So it's just we're just feeding people, have a good time, man, and it's no competition. It's just enjoying the 4th of July in this beautiful country, man.
We are talking with Moe Cason, BBQ.com, his website. So let's start with some TV stuff here, Mo, as I was talking about before we jumped into your segment. You have some things coming up here as early as next week, if I'm not mistaken, as you're going to be a guest judge on the regular show Chopped.
Yeah. I had the very fortunate to be asked to come back on a regular Chopped and judge kind of a grilling segment kind of thing. And it was a great opportunity. Worked with Minette and Minette, I know I'm mispronouncing her name, wonderful young lady. And Amanda Freitag and the whole cast. So it was a great time, man. Judged some good food, and it was just a great experience. I just love the people at Food Network. They're just so down to earth and humble. When I first had the opportunity to be a judge on that show, it's kind of intimidating when you're dealing with these, a little bit intimidating. I'm still always assured of myself, but dealing with, guys who, these guys have done, I can't tell you how many episodes of Chopped they have done, and they're just pros, man. It's great working with pros, man, because they made it so easy for me and so comfortable. And now I consider them friends, man. I mean, they're just really good people.
So what kind of a relationship do you have with them? Is it a one-off basis where if they're having some kind of a live fire segment, you're kind of the go-to guy for them now, or do they keep you on some kind of a retainer? How does that work?
That's not so much that. I mean, it's just, they got a lot of great minds there at Food Network, and, there's always new stuff coming up. And if they feel like, I would be a good fit, or they would reach out, and if I'm able to do it, I would do it. If I'm not, I'm not, so it's just, I think it's like family. I mean, I truly believe that when it comes to Food Network. I mean, once you're in and they like you, they like what you're all about, they love your originality and being genuine. I mean, and also dropping knowledge. When you're asked to expound on something, they're pros, man. So they know, and so they, if they have something for me and I can do it, I do it. I'm not saying that I'm getting offers, from them all the time, but it's just they're just great people. That's one of those things. Once you are in that family, they really kind of look after you. You know what I mean? And your name gets floated around for opportunities, and if they like you, I mean, that's just how it works, man. I mean, I've learned. I've done a few shows now, and and I'm just thankful for the opportunities that I've had doing shows, because I really enjoy barbecuing. I love grilling. And I just love people, man. I mean, I've met you a few times, and I'm the same guy I am today than I was when I started in 2006 competing in this great thing called, barbecue contest and just being genuine to myself and who I am, man. And when I get emails for opportunities, it just blows me away. I'm just humble and thankful, man, because, you know, I was able to quit my job in 2017 that I worked for 24 years at the water treatment plant here in Des Moines and long doing barbecue. And I just, you know, I had an opportunity to get my rubs and sauces from a big academysports.com. And when they reached out to me, man, it just gave me the courage to, you know, now I'm not scrambling trying to burn up vacation to do a show or I'm sitting there looking, I can't do something because I don't have enough personal time or you know, vacation. And now I'm my own boss, and it's just like my wings, man. I'm just flying, man. I just love it. And I'm just thankful, man. I mean, you know, this barbecue world has been really, really, really good to me, man. But I've been good to barbecue, man. I just kept it real, man.
So from a show standpoint on the Food Network side, like if they approached you to do, you know, Moe Cason travels around the country to do some kind of not a retread of a lot of the stuff that you see on television now, is that something you would be interested in because it would be fun to be on TV and you could put a little bit of a Moe Cason spin on it, or would it need to be something unique for you to get your own true show and really make it your own?
You know, for me, I think that I'm not that individual that's with a term called thirsty. I'm not that person that's going to want to jump at anything just to be on TV. There's people out there that way, but that's not me. So it has to be something that would be beneficial for the barbecue or the grilling or the story, you know, to be able to go out and really capture some really unique stories out there. You know, this barbecue world and grill world is huge, man. And there's so many opportunities, you know, but it's hard for, you know, like networks to sit there and try to do everything. You know what I mean? They got to have something that makes sense. It's got to make sense to the viewers. Financially, it's got to make sense. Yeah. And then you have to have the cast and the crew or whoever you're going to have make sense. So if they ever approach me on something like that, I would be interested, you know, but it just wouldn't be anything. You know what I mean? It'd have something that I would want to do.
Moe Cason joining me here on the show. The other thing that you have coming up later in the summer is a barbecue pilot show called Barbecue Beatdown. Tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, me and a couple other pit masters were asked to do this pilot. We went down to Austin and filmed, and I can't really expound too much on it because I don't think I got the okay for everything, but it is a pilot that's going to air on Food Network. It's going to be fun. It is a contest. I'm in a host/contestant role. Mm-hmm. So it's really fun, man. It's unique, and it's going to be it'll be out sometime this summer. So I did that, and then, you know, obviously the show that's been announced with Bobby and Michael and Bobby versus Michael, that was a lot of fun. That was just absolutely a great experience. Working with Bobby Flay and Michael Symon, those guys are just pros. That's all I can say, man. They're just pros. And, you know, and I have a lot of respect for them. I mean, you know, I have a lot of respect for a lot of people that are in this cooking game and doing shows and stuff, but these guys have done it. And they've built something from nothing, really. I mean, Bobby was telling me stories about when he first started and how he was struggling. And I mean, I look at him and look at Michael Symon. These guys, and they're outstanding chefs, and they do the world of grilling and barbecue good, man. I mean, I got mad respect for them, man. But they also are humble and they give it back. You know what I'm saying? So and that's what I like about it. Even though they've done all they've done, they're still straight humble dudes, man. And I got a sense of that by just talking and chit chatting with them, man. You know what I mean? And just had a great experience working with them.
So is it just the haters coming out when they see Bobby Flay doing another grilling show or Michael Symon hosting a barbecue or a grilling show? And that initial rush of, you know, who are these guys? What have they ever done? I mean, certainly they're accomplished chefs, but when it comes to live fire cooking or barbecue and grilling, you know, there are what we would appear to think are much bigger names that maybe should get that step up, but probably not the case, though, right?
I'm going to tell you something, man.
Yeah.
Those guys that are out there try to hate, and they're out there. they don't understand the culture of barbecue. They just don't. And I'll be honest. If you truly understood the cultural history of barbecue, you wouldn't have a damn thing to say. You'd be having your two thumbs up and say, go ahead and get it. Because there's enough room for everybody. Okay? When you start thinking that you're better than somebody and you're just more deserving than somebody and all that bull crap, you don't get it, man. You know what I'm saying? Stay in your lane, do the best you can. If you get the opportunity, get the opportunity. But there's that, those 4 category trick ponies people out there that, I'm telling you, man, Bobby Flay can cook, dude. Michael Symon can cook. Okay? A lot of them guys, may be able to cook a brisket and maybe they'll cook competition chicken, maybe cook competition pork, but that's all they can do. They're 4 category trick ponies. I'm telling you right now. You go out there and get a pantry, and I'm sure there's a lot of great cooks out there, man. But I'm telling you, when you got something in front of you and you got to make something out of nothing, you got to be a damn good cook, man. You may do a kick-ass brisket, and you may do some kick-ass ribs. Okay, now make something from scratch.
Yep.
Make rub from scratch. Make sauce from scratch. Okay? These guys, be humble, man. Be humble and be thankful. There's some room for everybody. And those guys are small fraction. I mean, the people that bark out and make the most noise, they have the least to give to the barbecue world. Seriously. So you don't need to be barking, man. You know what I mean? Be happy, man. There's room for everybody, man. Plenty of room. And those are guys that are haters, man. They marginalize themselves and they're the ones sitting there trying to, bump their gums. Grimp, I've seen a lot and heard a lot over the years of me competing since 2006, man. And I'm just a humble, thankful man for opportunities and just being able to get out there and meet people. And those individuals, I said again, they marginalize themselves and they exclude themselves because of their behavior, because they think they're better than somebody and they're not. When it comes down to the brass nuts, I've seen individuals like that. And they said they may be able to cook a couple of proteins really well, but that's all they can do. Make me some greens, man. Make me a pot of beans. Make me some cornbread. You know what I'm saying? Make me something that's going to speak to me, man. But a lot of them guys, they can't do that.
Well, let's talk about the show. I talked a little bit about it as we lead it into the segment, but give me a high level on how the show operates and then how you fit in.
On which show?
On the Michael Symon or the Michael Symon Bobby Flay show, the Brawl.
My good friends, Amy Mills and Chris Lilly, we're judges on this show, and essentially, basically, we're judges, and Michael and Bobby are more like host / I wouldn't say mentors,
captains,
but that's kind
maybe?
of what they're the host. So basically, there's a lot of times where we're not on the set, we're back chilling, and then we come back and we judge these certain things. So that's how that works. It's going to be seriously, that show has given me goosebumps. It was such a pleasure. The concept is so refreshing because it's cooking, man. It is just straight up cooking. And I won't expound any more on that, but it's going to really showcase cooking. It's you know what I'm saying?
I mean, is it going to be something that is akin to a Chopped show, or it's not even like that?
I would say there's some elements that are sort of like Chopped.
Yeah.
But it's basically a barbecue grilling show, man. From the get-go. You're cooking on grills and smokers, man. And outside.
And these awesome. Two have separate teams that they're trying to coach up, and they're pitted against each other, more or less?
Yeah, it's kind of like that, man. You know what I mean? I said again, they're not they don't tell individuals what to do. Okay? They're just kind of like, there's just like two teams. And it's just, I don't know how much I can actually say, because even though they put a thing out there, but it's just, what I'm saying is it is going to be an awesome show. The way it flows, the dynamics, and there is nothing that's going to be like, okay, I can see where this is going, or this is what they're going to know, because you don't know, man. And it's exciting. and you really see and showcase these individuals in their cooking abilities and styles and stuff, and that's really put on Front Street, man. And it's awesome, man. It was just an awesome opportunity to work on the show and just to watch. I mean, we got done when we wrapped, man. Everybody was just absolutely pleased, man. I mean, everybody's standing there, and it's going to be something that it's got legs. You know what I'm saying? I can see this thing going on for the next 10, 15 years, man.
Really?
That's how good it is. That's how good it is, man.
Wow.
I mean, it's just the concept, the way it is, man. It just has so much room to grow.
So you don't, one of the biggest complaints about barbecue pitmasters was it always seemed to be retreading the same teams over and over again, or a different barbecue show kept throwing on the same couple teams or the same couple pitmasters. This is something where you could see anybody having an opportunity as long as they had a passion for live fire cooking.
That's exactly it, man. And then, where it goes, like, for example, and I love pitmasters, and it was so good for me.
Yeah, for sure.
And, but, individuals were able to bring their little bag of tricks. You know what I'm saying? Their little seasonings and their little blah, 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 Well, that crap ain't happening, son. That ain't happening. You got to know how to cook. You know what I'm saying? Because people like Bobby, Flay, and Michael Symon, they know how to cook. Okay, so they I mean, and that's pitmasters. That was great for pitmasters. The guys, they had their little rubs they brought their what they normally do on the circuit. Well, this is not it. This is raw. You know what I'm saying? And anybody that knows how to cook, okay, it will be showcased.
So we have Amy Mills, Big Moe Cason, Chris Lilly as judges. So let me be devil's advocate here just for a second. And it's not that they go back to the same folks, as I had just said, but, that these folks that they are continuing to pick up and have on camera, they have a skill set that maybe some others just don't have. In other words, lots of great high IQ barbecue and grilling folks are out there. We both know that. But you also have to be able to translate that knowledge and have a personality that works on camera. You need to do both well in order to make TV work. And perhaps that's where the field actually narrows for who gets these opportunities to judge, right?
Well, yeah, I mean, yeah, definitely. I mean, I really feel like you have to have a good range, and I mean, obviously a good sense of taste and understanding, but you have to be able to. You mean judging or competing? What do you mean? You mean judging?
Yeah, judging, right.
Yeah, judging, yeah. I think you have to, you got to understand cooking, man. You got to understand flavors. You got to be able to break it down. You got to be able to understand where these individuals are trying to go or what flavors they're trying to out. But you got to be honest. Everybody's different. I'm different than Chris. I'm different than Amy. And so my case, it was just like pitmasters. Myron's flavor it's different than what I like. Tuffy's is different, and that's why it worked. We all respected each other, but we all have different tastes, and that's how it shakes out. I mean, if we have, what I like is different than what Amy likes and what Chris likes. You know what I mean? But having the knowledge to be able to break it down and be able to explain yourself on why you feel that you judge it the way it did, that you did. So that's important. You know what I mean? And because you want to give that contestant, you want to break it down for them. You want them to understand why, pros or cons, why you judge the way you judged. And when you're able to do that, they can respect that, man. They may not like it, and they may like it, depending on what you say. But, if they can understand what you're saying, and you'll know, because, you can get all said and done, they come and shake your hand, like, yeah, man, I totally get what you're saying, man. Or, or maybe they don't like what you're saying. So, I mean, but you got to be honest, man. And that's what you just got to be honest. I've never been that person that's, and none of Amy is a pro.
Yep.
And so is Chris Lilly. I mean, we are all friends, but I learn all the time. I learned just by being around Bobby and Michael and Amy. And, you know, like my uncle used to say back in the day, if you're the smartest cat in the room, you need to get out of that room and go in another room. Okay. And that's the truth, man. And I'm constantly, I just think Amy's such a pro, and so is Chris Lilly. I got such much love and respect for him, because I mean, they've done, you know, more TV, or I've done a lot of TV now, but they've done, you know, they were doing it before I was doing it. I mean, as far as on the judging side, and so, but you know, I'm amazed. And the same thing with Chopped. When I sit next to Monique or Amanda or Jeffrey Zakarian, and they learn from me, it's amazing how you just learn. Keep your eyes open, your ears open, your mouth shut, and it's amazing what you can pick up and learn, man. It's just amazing, especially when it comes to TV, man. Because TV, you could be the baddest cook in the world, but if you can't translate that to the viewer at home, and all they see is straight crickets, it ain't gonna do you no good, man. It ain't gonna do you no good. You got to be able to understand and connect with the person at home, so they're understanding where you're going and what you're all about, and keeping them engaged. You know what I mean? And so they can stay watching the show.
Moe Cason joining me here on my show, Moe Cason, BBQ.com. Mo, can I hold you over for one more segment? We can talk about some July 4th stuff and some other things you got going on.
No problem, buddy.
All right, hold on 1 second. We are talking with Moe Cason from Moe Cason Barbecue, and I'll talk to you quickly about Southside Market and barbecue before we get back to Mo. Attention, folks, in the business of barbecue. Established in 1882, Southside Market and Barbecue is the oldest barbecue joint in Texas. They've been owned and operated by the same family for 3 generations. They offer premium Central Texas barbecue products, slow smoked over real wood, shipping, distributing, manufacturing sausages for companies across the U.S., from food trucks to multi-chain restaurants. Southside sausage can be on your menu, too. All meats processed in that on-site USDA-inspected facility, a trusted partner with a focus on quality and authenticity. Wholesale options are available. They ship nationwide via FedEx. You can also get them through food service distribution like Cisco, U.S. Foods, and Martin Foods. Co-packaging capable from R&D to package completion. They can follow your recipe or help you develop something brand new. Private label opportunities also available. You visit SouthsideMarket.com for more information. That's SouthsideMarket.com. And here's the kicker. As you are shopping on SouthsideMarket.com, once you fill up your cart with all the great stuff, and might I suggest sausage slammers and beef sausage, just to name a few, as you're checking out, at the very end, for the promo code, enter BBQ Central, one word lowercase, that's BBQ Central, and get 10% off your entire online order. Not just that time at SouthsideMarket.com, but every time you go to SouthsideMarket.com, you enter code BBQ Central at checkout, and you get 10% off your entire order. All right, we are back with more Moe Cason. Stick around. We'll be right back.
Continuing to produce incredibly mediocre content in an exceptionally professional way. You're listening and watching the BBQ Central Show. Once again, here's your host, Greg Rempe.
And this portion brought to you by FireBoard. Monitor up to 6 different temperatures simultaneously. Connect to Wi-Fi for cloud-based monitoring, or connect via Bluetooth. If you have Google or Alexa, you're in luck, because FireBoard is fully integrated with both. Find out more by visiting FireBoard.com or call 816-945-2232. And we are talking with Moe Cason. All right, Mo, so as we had mentioned, you're ready to celebrate the 4th. I'm ready to celebrate the 4th. I had talked with Sam, the cooking guy, in the first hour and got some menu suggestions from him. Do you have anything out of the ordinary or traditional that you love to see on this kind of a holiday? Because this is our, what I call the live fire cookers Thanksgiving, is 4th of July.
You know, for me, I just, you know, I've done, like, normally what I'll do, like, you know, for Thursday is, you know, I'll cook a brisket. I love cooking briskets. It feeds a lot of people. You know, there probably be 100, 150 people there on the block.
Wow.
So we just all bring, you know, I mean, I love just simple hot dogs that are grilled. Mustard, some onions, some good old hamburgers, some barbecue brisket, ribs. I mean, people bring all kinds of things. So, but basically, it's just your traditional barbecue fare and grill fare. It's what I enjoy and what I like. I'm not sitting there trying to make no crown roast for July 4th. You know, we just doing hamburgers, hot dogs, brisket, ribs, some pulled pork, some things that are just Americana, man. This is something that we grew up with and we like and we cook, and it feeds a lot of people and everybody enjoys it. So, you know, I'll make some sides and the wife will make some sides, and I got some killer baked beans that I do. I've got, you know, some sweet regular slaw and just some like some traditional barbecue fare dishes to go with the proteins.
All right, so you are also traveling quite a bit. If you follow Mo on Instagram or some of the other social media stuff, you see he's getting his miles in. And let's talk a little bit about that. So, you know, for the folks that don't know, you know, previous to getting into obviously the regular day job and then obviously in the competition barbecue, you also did a stint with the military, correct?
Yes. Yep. United States Navy, man, and proud of our military. I'm a big supporter of them. My first ship I was on was the USS Missouri Desert Storm. We came back from there and decommissioned her. Now she's actually in a museum over in Hawaii, Pearl Harbor. And I want to take my family over there because my family really has never seen, obviously, the Missouri. So I want to build a walking decks with my family. That's one of my bucket lists before I leave this earth, is to be able to do that with my family. And but yeah, I'm a big Navy guy. It was sport, and I've got a great opportunity. Was reached out to me by a military contractor, believe it or not, Grimp, about a week and a half ago, and I'm going to be going over to some military bases next May to do some basically like festivals on military bases.
Nice.
So I'm going to be going. I'll be doing some classes. I'll be doing some cooking for a bunch of troops, a bunch of sailors. So I'm going to be going to Anchorage, Alaska, and then we're there for a couple of days. And then we fly over to Honolulu, spend a day there and do a gig. And then from there, I go over to Japan and I'll hit 2 bases. I think one's I know one's is Yokosuka, that's a Navy base. And the other one's maybe an Army base and so I'll be over there for about 3 weeks. Wow. And I can't wait, man. And for them to reach out to me, it's just amazing. Like I said, man, it's amazing, man, to reach out to me. And then when you got sailors and military people influencing them, say, hey, man, you need to get Big Mo over here. And it's just humbling, man, you know. And I'm ex-military, so it's just I can't wait to get over there and you know and be with, you know. I understand about being in the service. I understand about the long hours and the commitment and the sacrifice because I did it, and I have a great appreciation. So I know when I'm seeing the fellow airmen, Marines, Army, Navy, Coast, you know, all those guys, I understand the sacrifice they do and what they got to do. And, you know, military is not a job where you go get rich. You do it because you love your country, man. I'm telling you, man. And that's it. You know, and that's what's wonderful about the volunteer army, man. I mean, you know, you're not forcing anybody, you know, it's volunteer. And so you want people that want to be there and want to serve. And so I'm always a big fan of the military, man.
So when you go to these places, obviously there's going to be a lot of time when you are on base and you're getting food prep or you're serving, cooking, all that stuff. Yeah. But is there time outside of that where, you know, you could take in the beauties of Anchorage or Honolulu or Japan for that matter? I mean, have you ever been to Japan before?
No, I actually had the opportunity to, I was stationed in San Diego on my second ship, which is the USS Peleliu, which is now decommissioned too. And my chief engineer asked me, you know, obviously he wants you to stay in the military, and I was debating on getting out, and they said, where do you want to go? And I have a cousin of mine that was on the USS Independence, and it was out of Yokosuka. And I said, I want to go to Yokosuka, and they pulled orders and found orders for me, but then I didn't end up deciding to getting out, and I got on the water treatment plant back at home as soon as I got out of the Navy, so it worked out for me. But so no, I've never been to Japan. I wanted to go to Japan, but I didn't go. So this is my opportunity now to be able to go over to Japan, and I'm sure it's by looking at the schedule. They've emailed me the schedule. It's a tight schedule. There's going to be, you know, 1 or 2 days I'll have off to be able to, like, I won't have a day off. I mean, I'll be in Hawaii. So, I mean, you know, I know that base really well because I've been there multiple times when I was on the Missouri.
Yep.
But you know, I'll have a day off, 1 or 2 days off in Japan, which would be cool. So I'll have an opportunity to get out there and really see something, see Japan. Because that's one of my things I wanted to do is see Japan.
What was your rate when you eventually left the Navy?
I was a boiler tech. I was a BT-3. When I went in boot camp, you know, I got advanced early every time because I busted my ass. You know, like boot camp, our squad, we did good, so I got advanced the next rank because we were the top boot camp class for that session. And then I went to BT MMA school, and basically it's like college, a year's worth of college jammed down for like 3 months. And I mean that's the coursework. I mean, it's amazing because you got to test every day, and then you got a major test at the end of that Friday. Wow. And you can only fail a test twice. If you fail a test twice, you lost your school and you went straight to the fleet. Because they spend a lot of money to send you to school. So you're competing with your fellow classmates. So you're competing with your shipmates. So if there's 30, I mean, the dropout rate is pretty high because, I mean, you got to be on it to win it.
Yep.
And so when I went to school, there's probably 35 sailors. And then by the time I graduated from school, it was probably 18 to 22.
Oh, wow.
Probably a little bit more than that.
Yeah.
I mean, they ain't no joke. I mean, they when you go there to do the best you can. So you're competing with your classmates for your GPA. And so I end up graduating top BT in my class. Now we had a combined class where you had machinist mates and BT in the class. I'm not competing with the machinist mates. I'm competing, even though I was top BT in my class and I was second with the highest GPA. I had like a 93.8, which was amazing because I wasn't a very good student in high school. But I knew that this was the best course for me.
Yeah.
And I wanted to do water treatment. And I went to many lectures. There's something I didn't get, because you're learning all type of boiler systems on various type of ships in this 3 months. You're learning oil systems on different type of ships. You're learning about H-packs, L-packs, compressors and stuff on different ships because every ship's different. And you pick your orders based on how well you do on your GPA. So I remember my instructor, and he watched me grow where I struggled in the beginning. I failed the test once. And, and they take you down to the office and they tell you this is what it is. And I said, it scared the death out of me.
Yeah.
So I went many lectures. If I didn't catch something, I'd go back later on that night and have a mini lecture on that topic. And I end up, as I was increasing, it just gave me motivation. It was my self-driven motivation. Up to that point in high school, I didn't have that type of motivation. I didn't have that. But I knew that this was the best course for Moe Cason, was for me to do the best I can. And I busted my ass learning. And I remember my instructor calling my name up to the front of the class to have first pick of orders. And it was the USS Missouri. I had a bunch of ships I could pick through. And I knew that looking at the USS Missouri, and they can't sway you one way or another because you're going to be spending the next 3, 4, 5 years, depending on what your hitch is on that ship, on that command. But he looked at me and kind of winking his eye. He says, if you want one on the Missouri is a ship that has history and lots of medals and lots of class and prestige. And I said, I'll take the USS Missouri. And it was the best thing that's ever happened to me, man.
Wow. That's a great story. And by the way, thank you for your service, Mo. A number of people in the instant chat are thanking you as well. As we transition out of the military stuff here and get back into Moe Cason. So, I remember the first time you did the show, you were Ponderosa Barbecue, and then over time you've transitioned into Moe Cason Barbecue. Was that a specific thing that you wanted to do on your own, or did you get together with some folks and say, hey,
business,
we should do it? Yeah, business. All right.
Business, because people know me as Mo. And so, Ponderosa is great. Ponderosa is my neighborhood. When I'm looking at right out of my window right now, this is my neighborhood. It's kind of I live kind of in the hood, but not in the hood. We have doctors to crackheads in my neighborhood, man. But this is my home, man. This is where I live. I love it. And so I'm representing the Ponderosa. all the old school cats in my neighborhood call this place the Ponderosa. We have huge oak trees and just littered oak trees. It's beautiful in the city. But this is where I live. This is where I'm from. And so that was why I called it Ponderosa. It's out of just respect from where I'm from.
Mm-hmm.
Now, business-wise, someone see the bottle or rub of Moe Cason, that's going to be more recognizable than Ponderosa. They're going to be like, well, what's Ponderosa? You know, but when someone sees the name and they know that that's your name, it was a business move, and it's been nothing but great. And so it was a good move for me, and, you know, and it makes sense because now all my products and Moe Cason.
I don't know if you're noticing this on social media or not, Mo, but the word hunk is starting to trend like crazy. So maybe we could switch to Big Hunk Cason. What do you think about that? Big Hunk. Drop the Mo and go Big Hunk. Yeah, Hunk. Big Hunk. H-U-N-K. You like
really?
That? Yeah, man. Hunky, Hunk Patrol, Hunk Cason. I mean, you could be a whole new revolutionary barbecue line coming up. Speaking of new...
Yeah, you know...
Speaking of cutting edge, you also are into the knife game. What's that all about?
Man, it was awesome. You know, I've had the opportunity to go over to Australia. I love Australia.
You do love Australia, by the way. I mean, you're always over there.
Jay Beaumont of Meat Stock invited me over a number of years, 3 years ago, I think it was, to come and do Meat Stock. And that solely from the beneficial of like barbecue pit masters and pit wars, you know, because A&E shows those shows over there, and those shows are like new to them, even though they ran for years here. They were new, you know, and it's just been a blessing, dude, to go over there, man. First of all, I love the outdoors. I love hunting. I love fishing. Australia is wild. I mean, it's just an awesome place, man, and the people are genuinely really, really nice. I can't explain it, but they're like a bunch of Midwest people, man. And I'm not knocking the East Coast, West Coast, North, South. There's nice people everywhere. But in the sense of where I'm from, they remind me a lot of people here.
Yeah.
They're just really nice people, man. But they also know how to have a good time. And so I went over there, did Meat Stock, and, you know, I had hit it off with Jay. Jay's just a great, him and his wife, Louise. They're just great people. They put on a great festival, and it's called Meat Stock, and it's a huge barbecue festival. It's the biggest one in Australia.
Wow.
And it's just thousands of people come out, and it's just a great. So I had to go out, and I would do like a couple of barbecue classes, you know, over 2 days, and then I would attend the festival and just meet and greet, and, you know, just some food and just hang out, man, and just, you know, and that's me. I'm just a social butterfly. So it's just great meeting people, man, and having the opportunity to go over to Australia. And I've been blessed to be able to go back there the last, I think, 3 years now. And, you know, and I've developed a great relationship over there with a lot of people. My products are sold over there now. It's awesome. So, yeah, I just have a great time. I'm going back over there in November. There's actually a barbecue contest over there that they're doing. And I'm also going to do a barbecue class at a butcher shop. And it's just, and they love Americans. They love American culture. I mean, to old hot rods, to just rock and roll, R&B. They just love American culture, country. They just love it. And so I have a good time, man. I go over there, man, like a week in advance, and then we'll go out in the bush and we go hunting, man, and cooking over live fire, rag, kangaroo, man, and man, elk. I mean, red stag, and I mean, it's awesome, man. They're just gritty, down to earth people, man, in a good way, you know. And I mean, I've seen some amazing creatures over there. It's just a great experience, man. The food, the people. New Zealand's another one. I've been over there for Meat Stock. Awesome place. Actually, I think I'll be going back there next spring. But yeah, it's just great people, man. And I've had the privilege to be able to go over there and just spread the barbecue culture.
Wow. I mean, we could just continue to chop it up here. So what about the knives? How did that come to play?
Man, I'm sorry. I got on a tangent, man. You got to excuse me, man. Yeah. How I got on that, I did a class over there, and there was a gentleman out of Melbourne. He came to my barbecue class, and real soft-spoken, but real nice guy. And he was talking to me, and he goes, he handed me some Cuban cigars, some really nice Cubans, Cohibas. I mean, like really nice. vintage, like 1986 kind of stuff. They're expensive. And I was like, I was kind of, you know me, Rip. I love cigars. And
Yeah,
I was like,
no doubt.
My God, So he and we start talking. And he goes, and he brought me a beautiful knife. And he goes, "How come you don't have your own knives, Mo?" And I said, "That's a good question. I don't know why I don't have my own knives." He said, "What do you want out of a knife?" And then we sat down and conversing over emails on what I kind of wanted out of a knife. I got big hands, man. I wear a size 19 ring. Or I used to wear a 19 ring. I kind of came a little smaller now, but there's a lot of great knives out there, but the handles were always like small for me. It's like me. I got big hands, and not everybody has my hands, but I wanted a knife that had a little larger handle, good weight, and some good quality craftsmanship.
Yep.
And he got them made. Now it's called Route 83. He has his own side of the lines, beautiful knives. And I have my knives, which he makes for me. And I have an olive wood or ebony, and they're beautiful knives. I've got a 14-inch slicer. I've got a bony knife. I've got a chef's knife, and I got a beautiful 2-pound cleaver. Beautiful. These are all heat treated 3 times, pounded, and they're just awesome. I've seen the whole process on it. They're made in China, but it's just unbelievable, man, the process that they make these knives at. And it's just awesome. I mean, when he gave me my first full set, he gave them to me in Perth. Now, I had other knives he gave to me before, but my Moe Cason knives, he brought them to me in Perth in a Pelican gun case. And they're all cut out and they all set in there. And I used those knives like crazy, man, Rip. And I'm going to tell you, man, I didn't put a stone on them until, dude, it was probably February.
Really?
I mean, they just hold their edge, and they stay sharp. And matter of fact, when I went over to Australia again, just this last time, we was out in the bush, and I brought a couple of my knives, and they haven't been stoned or sharpened since I got them. And I remember my buddy Rob Galena. He's my friend that has goes out there and takes the wild game. He's an excellent at sharpening knives, and he put my knife, and he was done like in 2 minutes, not even 2 minutes. He was like, dude, you could tell the quality. This is a great quality knife. No, he said, Mo, because he put it on a stone for a couple, and that was it. And it was done. He said, it's sharp. And he took it, and he put it on his arm, and the hair just fell right off, man. It was awesome.
Wow.
So, yeah, man. So I'm really happy with that. It's just a great opportunity for me, and them, and it's just a great relationship. And that's what it's all about, relationship, man. My businesses with friends. That's how it starts out, and so I'm just thankful, man. And, that I'm just taking my Moe Cason stuff and that people that believe in me and believe in my products and know that, like, my rubs and my sauces, those are all meat, Rip. Those are all my recipes. Yep. And when I quit my job at the water plant, that was a gamble. When Academy Sports reached out to me and said, "Hey, we want your products in our stores," you still don't know. You still don't know if people are going to buy your product.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And I mean, and I told my wife, I said, man, to me, I'm living my best life now, man. And when the orders come in and they were steady POs, I mean, they were happy. They're happy. I'm happy, and Hy-Vee grocery store here. I mean, they're ordering on the regular. Academy orders on the regular, and it's just amazing, man. That and it's like that people have appreciates my products, and it just makes me happy, man.
Moe Cason is joining me here on the show. We got July 4th coming up in a couple days. Mo's ready. He's got some recipes and suggestions that'll help you get ready as well. You can find him at Moe Cason, BBQ.com. Mo, always appreciate the time. Great catching up with you again. Continued success, my friend. We'll do it again.
Thanks, Rip.
You got it. There he is, Moe Cason, right there on this show. And he did a good enough job to lead me out. Again, the website for Mo, MoeCason, BBQ.com. That's Moe, M-O-E, Cason, BBQ.com. I don't think it's going to be Big Hunk Cason, even though I made the pitch. I don't know if he liked that or not. All the way back in the first hour, we talked with Sam, the cooking guy. Sam suggesting fair food for your July 4th. Elote. Corn dogs. Some other items that he said that I can't remember off the top of my head, but if you go to his YouTube channel, it's all right there, The Cooking Guy. You can also find him at thecookingguy.com and follow him at The Cooking Guy. And then, of course, the second hour was all Moe Cason. Moe Cason, BBQ.com. Got a special unplanned inside look at his military experience. That was a great story. Please be safe on Thursday. Let your neighbors do the fireworking. You just enjoy it and keep all your fingers and toes. Do the cooking instead. Don't be popping stuff. It's outrageous. Anyway, be safe, be cool, enjoy the 4th, enjoy the long extended weekend. I might try and grab a Monday out of it and go to Cedar Point as well with my youngest. We'll see how that goes, but we'll be back and ready to go next Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. September 11th, 2001. I will never forget. And until I see you next Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern, this is your program host and proud U.S. American, Greg Rempe. Good night now.